I'm Beth Redpath. I am the marketing lead at a company called VMware for one of the 5 main franchises, which is the Modern Applications Portfolio Unit. So I started in technology about 2006, 2007. So coming up to 14-ish years. I would say it chose me, actually. I have a degree in medical biochemistry and pharmacology, and I specialize in neuroendocrinology and CNS development. So when I left uni, I actually went into sales and took a role as a mediocre BDR within a IT finance leasing company. Although good-ish at my job, I really had a passion for the marketing side. And when I decided, sort of on one of those whimsical conversations around a dinner table, that I was going to start up my own marketing firm, it was something that as I gained clients, I was more and more attracted to clients that were in the tech space. I guess my first sort of 7 or 8 clients were all within cloud infrastructure, data center, and IT services. So I guess from there, the rest is history, but I've been in tech ever since. That's a really hard one to answer. Every single day is different for me, but generally wall-to-wall meetings and strategy and execution, a mixture of both, from anywhere from 8 a.m. through to 10 p.m. every day. I tend to be one of these people that live and breathe what I do, and I do not delineate between work and play. So I tend to be a little bit of a workaholic. However, I have to balance it out. I have a really strong family unit and like to spend time with them. But yeah, I'm full on pretty much every single day. My biggest marketing challenge to date, interestingly, probably not 2020. And that's a really strange thing for a marketer to say, because most people in my industry have said 2020 has been the pivotal year. Lots of buzzwords around shifting, pivoting, moving from traditional marketing to more of a digital work front. However, I would say tech marketers, more than any other marketing group of people, have almost been digital for a long time. So 2020 has not been my biggest challenge, and definitely not my biggest marketing challenge. I would say the rise of social media has probably been the biggest challenge, both from a B2B but also a B2C perspective, because consumers are no longer digesting content from a social perspective in a linear way, and marketers are having to react to that in a kind of Moore's law environment, and the exponential changes between how they're using it, how they're consuming, and then how they're interacting on social has actually impacted marketing and marketing to audiences, probably the biggest in recent years. If you look at 2010 to 2020, it's a very, very stark change. And I guess from my side, I've always been a marketer that specialized in campaigns and account-based marketing. And I think the interaction and the engagement that you see on social has probably been the biggest shift over the recent years than anything else. So I think that's the biggest challenge for me. I guess I do a simple thing. So I'm a lean practitioner, and I really believe in doing things in an agile kind of way. You know, coming from companies that center themselves around digital transformation, it's almost natural that I should look at things like that. So when I look at my day and everything seems to have the equal importance, I do a simple do, delegate, or delete. It's what will happen if I delete this item, what will happen if I do it, or who could potentially do it for me, or how do I work or collaborate with other people to do it, so that I manage workloads and I also manage importance of tasks in a logical way, because literally if you think about it in a different perspective and you each pretend each task is a child, it's whichever child is screaming the most, and you then give that importance, but that's not necessarily what's important for the business or the business outcome. So you have to think about it in a logical way. So that's how I prioritize: do, delegate, or delete. Well, like a true believer in account-based marketing, I would say that account-based marketing will continue to feature in more and more businesses, both in the SMB, the mid-market, and the enterprise space. And I would say that for a couple of reasons. Firstly, because businesses are going to have to stop becoming business orientated, and they're going to have to start becoming customer or client centric. Client centricity is difficult to achieve without thinking about a client account as a market of its own. So that would be my first thing. Look out and watch out for that account-based marketing approach, framework, or style being applied to more and more businesses to achieve customer centricity, or putting the prospect or customer first within their marketing approaches. I also think it will be the rise of integrated marketing. So big companies who have large ranges of products or ranges of services, they often work in silos, and I think that that's got to stop, or at least it will change over the course of the next few years. And I think that a more integrated, collaborative way of marketing across product, across service, will come out of your more enterprise level companies. And I think that will become very important for marketing to approach more of an integrated marketing, mixed media approach to the way that they look at the messages out to the market. Would I change anything about marketing? Probably not. I probably wouldn't change anything about marketing, because I think actually marketers and marketing is awesome in 2020. We have shown we're probably the most resilient group of folks out there. What I would change is everybody else's perception of marketing as an execution only cost center. Marketing is actually a revenue generating business unit and should be given equal opportunity alongside sales, alongside every single other business unit. And I think sometimes it gets underrepresentation as a support function for the sales unit, or it gets seen as a cost center, partly because we don't position it well, or we don't shout our wins out enough, and partly because the perception from the outside in is not necessarily as a revenue generating business. But we're revenue generating, we do great work, and I think marketing should be praised for what it's done across this year. Yeah, so if I gave any advice to anyone starting out in marketing pre-2020, I would have said, know your products, know your customers, know your service, understand the tactics that work with different audiences, and trial, and optimize, and just keep going. And that would have been my main advice. The advice I'd give post 2020 is probably no different than the pre-2020 advice, but with one difference. It doesn't matter whether you're a marketer starting out or you're a marketing manager with 10, 20, 30 years of experience. I think the learnings of 2020 is we can't plan as far in advance as we'd like. We can't necessarily predict everything. We should use data more, and we should be guided by what the market is doing. We should respond, predict, and wherever possible take advantage of the current situation and environment, but being sensitive to it. I think quite a lot of marketers during 2020 didn't get the tonality of the marketing correctly to their audiences. The audience response was fairly tone deaf to certain campaigns. I think marketing done well is keep reminding yourself of why you're put on this planet and why you're marketing to the people you're marketing to. What are their needs? What are their challenges? And has those challenges ever changed? Or are those challenges changing based on the current market and the current market pressures? And I think if you are committed as a marketer to understanding your customer and putting yourself in their shoes at all times before you launch that campaign, before you send that email, think, what challenge am I actually solving for my customer? Whether that's prospective or whether that's revenue generating customer, it doesn't matter. And will this email positively impact them or negatively impact them? And I think if you go on that fairly simple model, I think that you'll always make a positive impact and a positive business change to those individuals that you are sending either execution based, tactical based marketing or strategic based marketing out to.